Practical Anarchy, A Guide to Self-Determination, Dickie Dread, mini-series, part 1. So, I'd put together some basically answers and points that address a whole bunch of questions that come up again and again. Some of them are in the books and the videos, and of course I appreciate that not everyone gets to read the books and the videos, but they come up in the discussion points, and hopefully we can then just point to these videos or the text as well. I will post the text just to sort of stop repeating the same arguments which come up and up again. So here's the first one, and it's called Why I Don't Treat 19th Century Radical Theory as a Manual. So I produce this short critique because the same question keeps surfacing in Facebook discussions, usually in good faith, sometimes with a bit of exasperation on both sides. Some will involve Marx or Bakunin, as if the argument is settled, as if the citation from 1871 should end a conversation about life in 2025. I'm not writing this to dismiss those thinkers or to be provocative for the sake of it, but because the habit itself is worth examining. If anarchism is meant to be a living practice rather than a historical reenactment, then it seems reasonable to ask whether theories forged by steam engines, mills and early nation states will do the work people expect them to do now. A recurring habit in radical circles is to treat the theories of Mikhail Bakunin, Karl Marx and other 19th century anarchists and socialists as if they were written yesterday, waiting patiently to be applied. This may be confronting, but it is likely to be misleading. Their work emerged from a very specific historical moment, and while part of this is still illuminates, much of it no longer maps clearly onto the world we actually inhabit. Marx and Bakunin were responding to early industrial capitalism, mills, mines, visible factory discipline, and a state still in the process of consolidating itself. Capital was largely often physical, production relatively local, and class antagonisms often physically concentrated in a single workplace or district. That world has not simply evolved, it has been rearranged. Contemporary capitalism operates through global supply chains, financial abstraction, digital platforms, and debt mechanisms that would have been difficult to conceptualise in the 19th century. As discussed in Chapter 7 of Practical Anarchy, power today is often indirect, outsourced and deliberately opaque, which complicates classical accounts of domination and resistance. Sorry, it's difficult to read because I'm reading off the screen because I don't have a printout of this. I don't have a printer. And it's not in the book, of course. Anyway, early socialism and anarchist theory also rests on assumptions about political subjects that appear increasingly fragile. The industrial proletariat, imagined as a coherent, shared social force, has fragmented into precarious workers, platform contractors, migrants, carers, debtors, and the intermittently employed. Appeals to the workers can sound more like a memory than a description. Bakunin's faith in spontaneous insurrection and Marx's confidence in historical inevitability may have underestimated both the unevenness of struggle and the capacity of systems to absorb shock without collapsing. Marx and Engels. There is also the issue of adaptability. Classical theory often assumed that explanation would become unbearable and expose capitalism's contradictions. Yet modern systems appear capable of redistributing pressure, offering limited concessions and turning dissent into lifestyle or brand identity. As argued in Practical Anarchy, participation, representation and even resistance are frequently managed in ways that reduce their disruptive potential rather than amplify it. Cultural distance matters too. Many early radicals held views shaped by their time on gender, colonisation, nature and violence that now sit awkwardly with contemporary struggles. This does not invalidate their insights, but it does suggest caution. Treating these figures as timeless authorities risks importing blind spots along with their useful critique. None of this implies that Marx or Bakunin should be abandoned. Their work still helps us recognise exploitation, hierarchy, and the moral emptiness of authority. The problem arises when their theories are treated as scripts rather than tools. Relevance is not inherited, it has to be rebuilt. If anarchism is to remain alive, it may need to start from present conditions outward, borrowing selectively from the past rather than trying to relive it.